You already know.
Why, hello everyone.
You already know. Oh my god.
The best movie we have seen.
This, I'm hoping you guys can see it. This is a tin can limited edition Lion King live action movie, July 19th. Shebang. Opening night was today. And I mean, this thing is beautiful. It's 10. I love it. The movie was honestly like
The best one.
the best of Disney's remakes, live action. Just the quality. I mean, this is a must-see movie. Like in theaters, IMAX, Dolby, like fully loaded, like 3D.
Gotta watch it on the
Go.
best
I mean,
screen.
just go all out. I mean, this is a must-see movie. This is a spoiler warning. I'm just letting you guys know we are reviewing the Lion King movie, and it was just magnificent. Like from picture to picture. I mean, frame. There was some like new stuff that we haven't seen from the original, but it did not ruin the movie. It made the movie even better than like ever.
Like it didn't change it dramatically.
Yeah, I mean the producer that
John Favreau.
like he was happy in Iron Man, happy in Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home. Brilliant, awesome guy. I'm glad that he did this. He also was the one that created the Jungle Book, and that was a big success. And I mean, this is a spoiler, you know, so if you did not see the movie, please take the time to pause this, save it for later, subscribe. You know, I that's another thing. This is going to be our 6th video that we made, and I just want to like dedicate and thank every single person that subscribed to us, views us, and like gives us like good support and are actually like helping us grow, and you know, taking the time out of their day just to hit the like and subscribe. And I mean, I want to see like comments, positive, most definitely, even if you want to be negative or whatever, you know, everyone has their right. So but this is a spoiler, the review that we and my buddy saw, and so we're giving you the time right now. 10, 9, 5, 6, 8, 2, 1, go. Like, this is it. I'm telling you, this is it.
There's no turning back.
No turning back. Spoiler warning. So I'm take it that you've seen the movie, so now let's get into it. I'm going to show you like the best parts. I'm going to show you my favorite parts. We're going to talk about it. Let's break it down. And there is some ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding Easter eggs, and like hopefully the future is really spectacular, like moving forward for this. So this first scene right here that you see, and the producer, the guy, he
John Favreau.
yeah, John, he announced that in this whole entire movie, there was one scene that was like real, like actual, like they went there and filmed it. I mean, they went through Africa, different parts. I mean, you can just look it up yourself, the making, the scenes, the behind the scenes. I mean, all these amazing actors and actresses, strong powered women, and you know, funny guys like Seth Rogen. I mean,
Oh my God,
Rogen,
Seth
man,
Rogen.
he's just like the greatest. And I mean, yes, there could have been, you know, Whoopi, but the actress that plays Shenzi, oh my God, to the T, the darkness, the realistic, the just savagery that you can tell from the pitch of her voice, the character, the moments, and everything. I mean, it was just beautiful.
It's just like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, but I mean, guess what? Times have changed. This movie by far was the best Disney remake / action, live action, whatever you want to call it. This was the best one. This is literally what people are going to show their kids, and this is good for kids, teens, adults, and older people. You know, this movie is awesome.
Like if you
So,
want to go back to your
like
childhood.
this scene right here, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is the opening scene of the movie, and this looks real. I mean, to the T. So I'm hoping that there's a bigger YouTuber that's finding more information, and hopefully, maybe I'm right. I don't know, but I have two, this scene right here in particular, but there's another scene that hopefully we can show you, and it's either this one. It has to be real life. I mean, maybe the sun's not, but like the trees, the environment, the mist. I mean, the sky itself looks real, like real. Yes. So right here, this is where like James Earl Jones, Mufasa, is teaching his son to hunt. Elephant graveyard. We already covered that. Scary as crap, and the detail was just
phenomenal.
So right here, this part in the movie had you like, oh my god, run, like, Basically, baby Nala, baby Simba, they go to this elephant graveyard, and also the reason why they're there is because Simba wants to be grown. He wants to prove that he's brave and he's like fearless, and he wants to like impress his father and like live up to the expectations as Mufasa, because Mufasa is a badass, excuse the language, but he's the king, he's the boss, he's the OG. I mean, he runs the Pride Lands, and Simba is like desperately like trying to like say, hey father, I can do what you could do, and so this scene right here, and it's all because of the so I mean, big jerk villain, the uncle. What kind of uncle is this? This is your nephew, for God's sakes. So the uncle, Simba's like hunting a little beetle, and the beetle stumbles into like, Scar's lair, you want to say, a part of the rock in the back, and he tells Simba, oh, I'm not a babysitter, go back with the other cubs, yada, yada, yada. Oh, high and mighty. But, he got his butt whooped by Mufasa. That's why he has the scar. And you know what? Simba, he's like, oh, I'm going to be king. And, in the movie, he's like, I'm going to be king. How funny is this, Uncle Scar, that you're going to be, like, basically he's telling him you're going to be his butler. Like, you're going to be beneath him. And this kid is like, is a cub. And Scar, like, throughout the movie, is scary. I mean, he's like just the realistic part of a lion, like, throughout the whole movie. And I mean, right then and there, he could have just snapped, like, oh God, I mean, in this reality, like, not saying me, because I'm all for Mufasa and the whole Lion King, but if I was Scar, why go through the hassle
of making?
I mean, you're an animal, for God's sakes. Like, I would have just ate him right there. Like, simple as that. Like,
so why hire someone else to do the dirty work? Exactly.
I mean, I would have just ate him. I mean, trust and believe. Like, I would have jumped my butt into the watering hole and cleaned up, and I would have crapped them out, and there, long live Simba. And in my opinion, it could have been that easy. But it's whatever. And Scar is just like, you could tell he's just like, he did not just say that to me. Well, you wanted to prove it. Like, you could tell that he's just, just wants to
I'm
just.
just gonna send you to an
Oh man! So he already knows the hyenas, where they like live, their lair, and all this stuff. So he's like, oh well, let me just tell this foolish kid, to do something that maybe he won't come back. So Uncle Scar's like, yeah, there's a elephant graveyard. Mufasa, forbids people to go there, but all the lions went there, once upon a time, and kind of said, hey, this will be our little secret. You could just go check it out, and yada yada yada. So of course Simba like runs, gets Nala involved, and then they end up like going here, and then they get like, this is where you see the first scene where you see Shenzi, and she's like, oh man, and throughout this whole time Simba's like puffing his chest out. He's over here like, growling and everything, and Shenzi's like, oh, his bravery is gonna taste good for dinner. And they're all like basically run through the holes, and they're digging like dogs, because they're dogs like somewhat, and they're trying to get these, and then finally they get them, and they're like, ha, all right, we're gonna eat two little cubs. And the perfect moment comes. So right here you're gonna see him growl. Little kids growl. Obviously you could tell by his face, he's like, shit. And these, hyenas, they start laughing. Like, I honestly, by all means, I mean, I have family members that have been to Africa. And if I can have any wild dog, it would be a hyena. I love hyenas. I love how they laugh. I mean, that would be cool, So they're all laughing and, giggling. And he's like, oh, like you could tell by his face right here. Like, he's like, oh, man, like, this is not working, So right here, this is the first shot. They have different names. I think one's called Izzy, but the other one you don't really get his name. But in my eyes, in my opinion, that right there is Ed. No ifs, ands, or buts. The missing ear, that's Ed. The one right over there next to him, right there, that's Banzai, but his name is like Izzy. And Shenzi, that's not Shenzi, that's just a random hyena. I mean, there's a lot of them. And they're laughing like, ha ha, oh, look at it, looks so cute, yada, yada, yada. And then what happens? Right there you hear a deeper growl. And look at him, he's determined, like, oh man. Right there. Face of fear, like, they're like, what the heck? Who's here? Bam, Mufasa. Mufasa with the right hook, just straight starts flinging him around, slapping him around.
Starts cold cocking him.
Yeah, cold cocking him, and like he's like on father like protection mode, and the hyenas are all getting their ass beat and stuff like that. Excuse my language. And then obviously, he tells Shenzi, "You were already warned. If I ever see you even smell or even glare upon my son, there'll be no more Shenzi." Basically. All the hyenas are like licking their wounds, and they're all like, man, he's a tough guy, yada yada yada, and it was crazy. This part right here, I swear, like, I literally cried, like, no lie, teared up. I was feeling it. I mean, even the detail that they like show, similar things, like, in the original, but in real life it's more depressing, it's more sad, it's more like, oh my god, especially if you have the love for animals and this and that. Wildebeests are known to kill lions, and but in this scenario, the hyenas are actually just like the original. They're like biting the ankles of the wildebeest, and they come down to this, like, what do they call it?
The gorge.
And this is where Scar took Simba and was like, you got to practice your wars and, yada, yada, yada. So he's trying to, like, get Simba in this crosshairs of this danger to lure Mufasa in there. And everyone knows, but I mean, in real life, it is so depressing. It's sad. Like,
it carries something like a heavy weight.
I mean, it was, like, I wouldn't say gory, but you can see the beating that he took, and there's a new thing, This scene, I mean, if you're a fast reader, I'm going to just let it speak for itself, because everything is true, what you're going to see right here, So this part right here is actually, like, as he's full grown, he's still singing, like, Hakuna Matata, and, he has good rhythm. I mean, Donald Glover as Simba was perfect. The singing, I mean, he as a singer is brilliant.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, the quality, I mean, some of these scenes are like the same as the original. I mean, it was just good, man. So like this part right here, this is Simba and Nala running from, I want to call it Timon and Pumbaa's paradise, whatever you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole separate area that had like some type of water flow. It was beautiful, flowers, insects, other animals, and it was just beautiful. And this is where Timon and Pumbaa like lives, and they found, baby Simba in the desert, which this part I think is realistic, like the part where they're running on the sand, like maybe in like somewhere in Africa or even Asia, somewhere where there's a lot of sand. I think that could be the scene that, you know, John was talking about, that it could have been real. But this is where he's actually running to catch up to her. He passes her up. He's like, let's go home, and yada yada yada. And this is where, like, after the fact, he admits that I am Simba, son of Mufasa, and he does this like beautiful roar, gets him all pumped, and that's when he runs and he finds, you know, Nala and this and that.
Disney's The Lion King.
This is awesome. Like, Pumbaa is a warhog. He is prey. He's not the hunter. But don't ever call him chubby, fat, or whatever. Or even, like, downgrade him and make fun of him, because he says in this movie, you can do whatever you want, but you cannot be a bully. And this is for, you know, basically, don't bully people. You know, it teaches everyone something. And he straights, I'm talking, like, bull rushes people, knocks people over, slam them up against the wall. And Timon, Timon's like on his back, like riding, like, let's go.
Zazu.
So right here, this is the part where I can say, like, clear as day, you can tell, like, this is realistic. I mean, this has to be the part. I mean, I'm hoping, you know, like I said, someone did, but it's beautiful.
The morning.
And there it is, the king himself, Mufasa. So this is the part where, I guess, like, every day, it's like kind of like police, you know, chief. Like, Zazu in a way is like a reporter. He's like the news, and Mufasa is basically, you know, runs his errands. He walks his perimeter of the Pride Land. He checks on, like, hey, is everyone good? Is everyone getting, you know, enough water, enough grass? And he starts, you know. And he probably has, like, a memo of, like, you know, the older, like, an animal is, that's the hunt, you know, and animals respect his wishes, respect him. So I think that's how they, like, survive. Like, lions in reality, yes, they go on hunts, they kill whatever, doesn't matter if it's a baby or whatever, they eat and stuff. But in the movie, everyone knows, like, Mufasa's the big king, and he basically, like, you know, probably has a rule, like, oh, once an animal gets to a certain age,
then
that's what we hunt. You know, the young, you know, we don't hurt children, we don't hurt the young, you know, it's just the old. Like, basically, if you know your lifespan's about to end, you go off, and that's what dinner is.
And that's where I can say Mufasa has morals.
Yeah.
Unlike Scar.
Exactly. Scar's like, let's just kill for sport, let's just eat everything that moves, you know? And you see what happens to the Pride Lands. When Mufasa's around, look how beautiful and green. I mean, there's life in it, you know? And he does say, like, magnificent, like, sayings to Simba, you know, like Simba's like, oh, don't we eat the antelope, father? And, you know, he's like, well, you know, when we all pass, you know, we become the grass, the dirt, and the animal eats the dirt and the grass, and we're all a part of the great circle of life. Like, that's what he says and preaches to young Simba. And this is where he's like, status report, Zazu, and he starts talking about other animals getting into it, like a giraffe all tangled up, butting each other. They talk about flamingos that are having, like, a protest. They're like, oh yeah, we're not moving from here or something. I mean, it's funny. There's a lot of funny scenes. I mean, but it's so worth, like, everything.
Yes, sir. 10 flamingos are taking a stand. That is fun. 2 giraffe were caught naked.
Actually, this part right here in the movie, this is where I can't wait to be king, you know, when Zazu and Nala and Simba, they're all, like, you know, going at it. You know, the giraffe, all the other animals are actually kind of, like, helping them, like, dodge Zazu, so they're, like, slapping Zazu around. They're getting, like, confused. All the animals are, like, covering the, you know, the young lion cubs, and they're trying to go off to, you know, Elephant Graveyard. So this is, like, one of the scenes. They stop him.
Moment of bounce. Of course, cheetahs never prosper. That's what I say. I'll say it again.
So right here, he's teaching his young son how to hunt, and obviously not to eat Zazu or hurt him, but the concept of surviving, because one day I might not be here, and you're gonna have to do all these things to, be the ruler that you are. And he starts laughing. I mean, James Earl Jones' voice. He's 88 years old. I mean, he still has it. So this is the part. Sorry for the quality, the video. I don't know why, but this is where, like I said, all the animals are working. Even butterflies at the end. Like 1,000 butterflies just slam packed into Zazu, and he ends up like kind of trying to fight them off, and he gets all like corrupted basically, and that's how they sneak off at the end. But the good songs.
We have an imminent threat. Scratch that. That's my own shadow.
Yeah,
Rated PG. Protect everything the light touches.
Yep.
If I don't fight for it, who will?
How bleak is that?
Now, his problems are my problems. This is the place you're fighting for?
This is my home.
Is it behind that terrifying rock? Talk about your fixer-upper.
I mean, these little parts, are just so funny. And this is the part where they actually leave, Timon and Pumbaa's paradise. And Timon and Pumbaa, they run up. They're like, oh, the backup has arrived. And, they're like, oh, this is the rock. What the heck? You could tell that was Pride Rock. And, like, everything was, like, just destroyed. No sign of life, and it was like, wow, this is what happens when Mufasa gets out of the picture, and how Scar's running everything. But this is like the part where it's
And Simba's like, this is my home.
yep.
And then Pumbaa's like, behind that rock,
Yeah,
quite a fixer-upper.
yeah, exactly. So right there, this is the part. Hopefully you can get the concept. But right here, this is legitly Pumbaa, like
When he's angry.
throwing a hyena like a rag doll into a rock, chases a bunch of them off because they call them chubby.
The way I see it, why eat one meal
And this is Scar.
when you can be feasting the rest of your...
So this part right here with the cute little mouse, it's just like the original. The mouse goes where Scar's usually sleeping or eating, or his room, how you want to see it. And he ends up, catching this mouse and talking to them like, life's not fair, little one. He's talking to the mouse. Like, you thought he was talking about Simba in the trailers, the previous trailers. But he's actually talking to the mouse. And he's about to eat him, and Zazu's like ruins it. This is actually the very beginning of the movie. This is where instead of him hunting a little mouse, he should have been the uncle and been at his nephew's ceremony of getting, baptized or whatever, how you want to call it. But it was pretty cool.
Are you hungry?
And this is where he does his song with the whole "Be prepared."
His be prepared
Yeah,
speech.
so he's talking to all the hyenas, and they're all listening to him and stuff. He's hunting.
Welcome the dawning of a new era. I am your king.
Right here, this is Baby Nala. So this is actually the scene, like after the whole what is it? The gorge?
Gorge, yeah.
Yeah, the gorge, where the death of the king. And this is where, he comes back and tells them the sob story, like, oh, only if I was there, and yada, 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 I could have saved them, and yada, yada, yada. And this is where he's like, oh, well, by the way, I'm going to be your new king. And obviously Nala's like, oh, my God, Mom,
Be prepared!
There you go. This right here is like the end of the movie, obviously like the original. They throw paws. I'm not gonna even say throw hands. They throw their paws and claws. They tackled each other. Even when the original, where he picks up like the fire,
The rock or whatever.
the rocks, and throws it in Simba's eyes. That actually happens realistically. It's freaking amazing. Just the detail. I want to know how many times that the producers and the actresses, they all before they even this movie was 6 years in the making, 6 or 5. I want to know how many times they actually had to watch the original. You know, does anyone even say? I mean, it's if I ever had the opportunity of playing a magnificent character, it doesn't matter if it was a freaking bird or a freaking, you know, I could have been the freaking beetle that was pushing crap, you know, around. I mean, just being the part of this, like I guarantee they had to
But
watch
I'm
this
sure
movie
that
like
Beyonce
100 times.
Wanted to play Nala because she has seen this movie so many times and it's one of her favorites.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Guaranteed.
it's everyone's favorites. You know, I mean, everyone likes the Lion King, but even like the death of like Mufasa, like Scar in the original, he's like, you know, Mufasa's like, brother, help me, exactly how it was, and he does this whole like, bam, grabs the paws, you know, digs his nails in the, you know,
But in the
and he's
original, they
like,
just-
long live the king, and he like throws him off, right? No, this one I'm telling you, it's so more like dark, so more like depressing. Like you can tell on the face of Mufasa that like his life is done. Like he knew, like, you know, like he's looking at death's right in the face. Like you could tell the emotion, and this is where like a couple people, like, you know, news reporters and stuff that I look at, they're like, oh, it's kind of, you know, yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, 100% we're down, but you couldn't really see the emotion. If you actually paid attention and actually sit and, like, grasp, like, the emotion of the animals,
Like
you
just
could see, like, when the animal's sad, or the animal's confused, or the animal's happy. Like, you can actually see those emotions,
'cause
even
you-
scared,
you
even
can see it in
terrified.
Mufasa's eyes, like he's,
Oh, I can't believe my brother's about to, you know, betray me and kill me.
because he was literally crying for help.
Yeah. And what happens, how they did it, where before he throws, you know, Mufasa, he literally, like, slaps, like, the king right out of his face. He just straight... And you can actually, if you actually, like, I cannot wait for this movie to be on DVD, but you actually see, like, Mufasa get, like, a scar, you know, similar to his. I mean, you kind of see a little bloodshot, probably. That's what I'm, like, remembering. Like, it was brutal. Like, he literally, like, excuse my language, he bitch slaps his brother, and his brother falls. And, I mean, you can just see the detail in it. I mean, it's, like... It was sad. Like, I literally had watered eyes. I know there's, like, a couple, like, right behind me. The woman was actually, like, bawling her eyes out. And I, like, hearing someone cry makes you feel sad and emotional. I mean, watching this beautiful movie, I mean, it was just so, like...
And I felt the waterworks on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty... Yeah. It was
The
sad.
Lion King.
This is the part right here. This is where this number one uncle of the year, guys. Let's go take my nephew to a gorge. From the very tops. And at this part, the hyenas are actually, like,
right at the
on the
brim.
very top. Like, they're there. They're just waiting for the signal. The signal is when Scar runs off.
You'll get it, Simba. Just take this time. I'll check on you.
It's so crap, Mommy.
It's a gift.
Oh my goodness.
Mufasa and Simba are gone. I am your king.
So this is the part right here where after, you know, the mouse disappears, you know, runs away. He's like, oh, Zazu, you let my lunch get away. And he's like, aren't you hungry, Zazu? And Zazu's like, oh,
Would you mind to stay a while?
And all of a sudden he, like, tries to, like, obviously Scar's not going to kill, like, Mufasa's, like, right-hand man, you know. But he tries to give him a little slapperoo, you know. And, I mean, it's a scary moment. That part right there, you know, I'm not going to go back, but you see, like, when Scar flickers his ear and he gets approached by the three hyenas, he literally, like, that's when he sends off Simba, like, how dare you, you killed your father, you're a king, yada yada. Run away, Simba, and never return. Simba starts running, and then all of a sudden,
You hear Scar say, just kill him.
yep, says it just like that. kill him now, like kill him. And they run after him. This right here is like Scar is obviously hungry as can be. This is the Pride Lands. Like, I mean, he let everything go away, but he doesn't care. And he has his army. He like announces the hyenas as his army, and they're actually hunting. I think it was a water buffalo or a gazelle or something like that.
Probably
But they couldn't catch him. You know.
Taking over the Pride Lands. This isn't the home I remember.
This right here scene is a part where they sing "Can you feel the love tonight?" Like it was all like mushy, the freaking goosebumps. I mean, it was magnificent. Like Beyonce, like,
with her beautiful voice.
with as Nala, and then you got
Donald Glover.
yeah, Donald Glover as Simba, and they're both singers in real life. They have like beautiful voices, and it was cool, man. It was like I loved it. Like this is where she's like kind of like Simba, you can have this all the time. Just come home with me. But at this point, he's like, I don't want to go back. Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. It means I put the past behind, and I want to move forward for the future. And he's like, oh, like I don't want to go back.
You have to take your place as king.
And right there, he's like, no, I don't want to do it. Hakuna Matata. And then she's all confused. So this is like, where he actually asks her, like, to stay. And she says, no, I have to go home. This was a waste of time. I'm glad I actually, like, found you and you're not dead. But, you're really good looking. And yes, we were supposed to get married. But you know what? Family is everything. And, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but in the aspects of a lion, they have a pride. Like, the pride is like a wolf pack. Like, that's everything, And so she just runs off.
If I don't fight for it, who will?
I mean, this part is where, just like the original, Scar's like, oh, you killed yada yada yada, and kind of has Simba fall like Mufasa, and then he says, oh, here's my secret, I killed Mufasa. And then that's when he jumps up. He actually grabs Scar's mane and like yanks, and Scar's like, oh, and he like yanks, and he like pulls himself.
Get up.
Yeah, he pulls himself off the cliff, and that's when he's like, you did what, Scar? And like Scar's all like, oh, and then like he's like, you were trying to kill me now, and then like as he said that to Simba, the lionesses were like legitly like behind, and they heard everything. And that's when Sarabi, has like this end game, Avengers assemble like moment. Like was like, you told us you never got to the gorge in time, so then how did you see Mufasa's eyes? And then I think it was Sarabi, or was it Nala? She was like, lions!
Nala.
Yeah, it was Nala. And then they go like slow motion, hyenas and lions, and they just start fighting, throwing each other. And I mean, it was cool. Simba like basically just starts smacking everyone, clawing everyone. It's right there. There it is. Oof, that was awesome.
This is my kingdom, my destiny.
Not really, Scar.
Great kings of the past look down on us from those stars.
So that part right there, and this is like I said, where he was hunting this beetle, and this is where he kind of falls over, and this is how Scar tells him about the whole babysitting thing. But the point, like with the whole them looking at the stars, that's actually after Mufasa saved Nala and Simba from the hyenas. And you see that in the trailer where he steps in his father's footsteps, like his paw print, and he kind of looks up. Mufasa right here, in reality, it would have been like he's sitting there waiting for his son to come forward, and he's sitting there, and he tells Zazu,
Take Nala home.
yeah, take Nala home. I gotta have a word with my son. And then of course, Zazu's like, oh, don't go hard with
on
him, and you know, he
He's only a
reminds me.
kid.
He's only a kid. He reminds me of a young lion I used to know before he became the king, and you know, he was hard headed too. Yada yada yada. And Mufasa, like in my eyes, I'm thinking this is where the belt comes off. Like you disobeyed, and now you're getting spanked. Like in reality, like you know, back in the day. Now, if you just touch a kid, it's like oh, you know, but. In this part, like Mufasa's just sitting there, like back, like Simba just sees his back, and Simba steps in his paw, and this is where I got thinking because, you know, when you get spanked in a kid, it's just this, you know. So Simba, it was pretty cool. I put two and two together. He stepped in his father's paw, and it's obviously bigger than his, and he looks up and he looks at his dad like, oh my God, I'm gonna get my butt whooped, you know. You know, it was kind of like the vibe that I was feeling. And also, I just wanted to see, like, just out of nowhere, a belt. You have disobeyed me, Simba. And just, you know. But no, he comes up. He's like, I'm so sorry, Father. And he's like, I was scared today, you know. I thought I was going to lose you. You could have died. Yada, yada, yada.
Like, I didn't know kings could get scared.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I thought kings... And he's like, there's a lot for you to learn. And then they kind of have a father and son moment. You know, they start wrestling, playing around. You know, he's actually just relieved that his son's still alive and yada, yada, yada. But then also, too, like, you could tell, like, as Mufasa is showing Simba all these things and all these rules is because, in reality, we all don't live forever. And, you know, he's just preparing his son, you know, to, like, be okay when he is not there. So then they look up at the stars and he tells Simba, he's like, look at these stars. These are the great kings before me, my father, my father's father, you know, and they look down at us. These are all the great kings that were before me and also before you. And he's like, they're always looking out for us. He gives them the speech, and he's like, and so will I. You know, and that's when, honestly, like, Simba kind of looks and just kind of realize, you know, yeah, it's probably true. My grandfather's up there, you know, his father and so forth. So he's probably getting the concept now, like, yeah, you know, okay, you know, I'm going to be king. I have to, like, you know, be a good king and a ruler and, you know, follow all these simple rules, you know, for his sake and also the Prime Lands, you know. So
Those kings.
so that part, I'm actually gonna rewind it. It's just so good. I'm gonna hopefully catch it this
Those
time.
kings.
So this part right here is funny. This is where, you know, Simba tells him, I mean, not Simba, where Scar tells him, you know, go, you know, every lion goes to the elephant graveyard, yada, 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 because it's, like, beyond the Pride Lands. It's called the Shadows, whatever you want to call it. And this is where he tries to come and get, like, you know, recruit Nala. Nala, come with me, you know. And then, obviously, Nala's getting her bath. Her mother's licking her down and everything and cleaning her up. And then Sarabi grabs Simba and is like, you need a bath, too. And he's like, he's trying to fight his mom for not taking a bath, and he ends up licking right now. You can tell he's like about to lick his paw, and he's like, oh, I'm clean now. You see, I'm clean. So then they, like, the mom's like, oh, you guys can go to the watering hole, but guess what? Zazu has to go with you, or she can't go. So, you know, that's pretty cool. And this is where, this is like the fun. Like, you can see, okay, this is what I understand. You see emotion. You see, like, him smiling, having fun with his son. Like, you got to just pay close attention to the detail. You know, yes, it's a real animal, you know. It's hard, but the concept, like, you could tell he's laughing, he's smiling, you know. That's emotion, you know. I can see it clear as day. They did an absolutely good job of catching emotions from these animals, you know. And this is the part where he ends up, you know, getting Zazu, and then his dad starts laughing, like, yeah, you got him, son. And they start little wrestling and stuff like that.
There to guide you. And so will I. I was Master Lion until the prince arrived.
I'm gonna be the king of Pride Rock.
See, this is the part where I was like, he tells Scar flat out, hey, man, I'm going to be the king of Pride Rock, and you're going to do as I say, when I say it, and you're going to just do, like, my bidding, and if I tell you, like, you got to do it. And you can look at him, like, you could tell he's looking, he's like, oh,
I'm not going to be told what to do by a little
Is
kid.
that so?
Is that so? Run away, Simba. And never.
So right here, this is where the producers do obviously a good job. Like on the other side, like right here by his foot, like even like Scar's feet, that is Mufasa's head. Like his dead body. Like it is sad. Like really sad. And this is where, you know, they can take shit out, you know, of trailers so you don't get spoiled, but obviously everyone knew this was coming.
Come on, return.
So right here, this is where, you know, he sends the hyenas kill him, and they're running after him. They're climbing over rocks. He gets away.
There is nobody to challenge me.
That's where he shows
Can't
that.
wait, Scar! This is my kingdom! My destiny! This is the light.
Yeah, so that was good. I mean, the movie, I mean, there's so much detail that you could possibly do to a movie to make it so good. But, I mean, there's parts like where you see him walking in the desert, he passes out. You know, Timon and Pumbaa, you see it in the trailer. They rescue him. They run into like a pack of, you know, vultures. They pick up Simba. They not pick him up, but they wake him up and they say, you know, I mean, it's a fun movie. The newest thing that with like that like part, what they added on is where like, you know, back in the original, it's just Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba. And I'm pretty sure there was like 2 gazelles, a fox, a baby armadillo, a chinchilla or lemur, some type of, and they're all living together. Like that's Pumbaa and Timon's little gang pack, whatever you want to call it. They eat
Family.
grub together, their family, and they, you know that's new. It wasn't in the original. And you know it was such a good movie. The best part, I think, in my opinion, throughout the original, you see Rafiki with his walking staff, and they took this out, and you know it was not bad that they did. But like in the very beginning of the original, when Simba was getting baptized, he comes and he has his stick, and on the stick it has like these 2 like I want to say melons or even
A fruit of some kind.
like some type of fruit or even a coconut. And I remember he like breaks the coconut in half or the fruit, and he like eats it, and he like, you know, you see it all slurping down, and then he uses the, you know, access, and that's when he makes the mark over his forehead. But in this one, he uses like a red root. You know, they took the you know, and everyone's probably like, yeah, well, a realistic monkey is not going to be walking around with a stick and yada yada yada. And he's like, he's a baboon. So, but they did it. They did it to the perfect T. Like it was amazing. So they get this point where they actually go back and they're about to, you know, confront Scar, and this is where the whole fighting scene happens. But before that, like he sees, like as Rafiki's standpoint, you see Pride Rock in the background, and then you see like Simba and Nala like running towards it. And then like Rafiki kind of just looks at his like tree hut, you know, where he eats his bugs and you know does his own thing. He goes like in this hole. He like goes, looks like he's digging through like a closet or, you know, where he stores stuff. And he's like,
he pulls
he's
out the
digging
stick.
out, and he's like, he pulls this staff out. The staff looks amazing.
And
I
he
mean,
goes,
he's
"Hello,
like,
my
I
old-"
love you. You know, he's like, man. What did he say? He said,
Hello, my old friend.
yeah, hello, my old friend. I mean, he's just like, right there in that spur of the moment, you know he's about to be a part of this fight, just like the original. And it was perfect. Like, Zazu was about, you know, Zazu's pecking at people and, you know, pecking, you know, a bird can do so much. And then the hyena.
Rafiki is just smacking hyenas with the
hyenas
stick.
end up like getting, you know, Zazu cornered, and Zazu's obviously like, oh, but you don't have to do this. And then all of a sudden, quack! A big stick comes in front of the camera, smacks the head of a hyena, and obviously Rafiki comes, starts doing his flips, and he starts smacking people with this walking staff, and he does his little like chant that he does. He's holding his staff. You know, Timon and Pumbaa get in on the action. They start ramming people and kicking people, bucking people, and You know, it is awesome. I mean, you even actually see the hyenas after Simba and Scar. I mean, they throw paws like slow motion, just like, you know, the original. It ends up he knocks Scar like down. He falls. He's trying to get up. The hyenas overheard him before he was trying to basically cover his own tail, like, what, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Tell me what I could do. And he tells him, you know, run away, like you told me, run away, never return. And he's like blaming it all on the hyenas. So the hyenas actually like overhear him. Like, oh, they're just scavengers and they're vicious and they're dumb, you know, whatever. Like basically blames everything on them.
Call
And
them revolting.
after the whole like shebang, you know, Scar falls off the cliff, which he should have, like, in my opinion, even in the original,
Realistically,
the fall should have killed him, just
Yeah,
like he killed his
like,
brother.
break his back and then
But
just-
it doesn't happen. He kind of gets up. He's like, oh, he's all beaten up, and he's like,
and then here comes Shenzi.
yeah. And they're like, oh, we're savages. Oh, we're idiots. And you know, they all
And there
start
was only-
talking,
they're
and
like, there's
you know,
one
Shenzi, Shenzi says, oh, the only truth that you ever said to us is
a hyena's belly
yeah.
is never full.
Yeah, a hyena's belly is never full. And they jump him. Like, you see him, like, smack one, smack another, but then they all just start piling. And you could actually see them, like, you know, kind of tearing them apart. And that's when you see the shadow, like, you know, just like the original.
Oh, yeah.
And then the rain comes, beautiful, just like the original.
Puts out all the fire.
Puts out, yep, all the fire out. And then it's like, you know, he goes, I mean, the music, like, you felt it. Like, the relief. I mean, it was just like beautiful, like
It
to
made
the
you
T.
feel relieved
Yeah,
and
and
happy.
He gets to the top, he does his roar, and then, you know, it all ends. But this is where I'm saying the Easter egg. You actually see a glimpse of Kiara in this movie, like just like the original. At the
Just
very
before the
end,
credits.
just before the credits hit, they do the whole thing where they see Pride Rock beautiful again, all the animals, you know, congregating, like, you know, being summoned. And guess what? It's another baptize. And guess who it is? Like, it's Nala and Simba. They rub their heads. They're all happy. And Rafiki comes carrying baby Kiara and just does this thing.
Same thing you did.
Same thing with Simba, but then the key thing, you know it's Kiara because she does a growl. She's like, "Ow!" And it ends. So I'm hoping that John is like in the works, in the making of number 2. Number 2 was not bad at all, in my opinion. It was a phenomenal story. It kind of just continued on after the first one. I mean, they could do so much. I mean, the hyenas are obviously still alive. Maybe Shenzi had enough and she, you know, but the hyenas were not really in the second one. But they could do something like that where you can get this backstory. Maybe the producer will show you a little clip of like Scar challenging Mufasa and seeing how he got his scar. Maybe seeing him and his, you know, wife leave, and then he ends up coming back because his whole plan from the get-go is to dethrone Mufasa. So he probably, like, that would be so awesome, so good if they do number 2. Any other Lion King after that, it's not even worth it. Like, number 1, number 2 was the best of the best. I mean, they can do so much where they can show you that clip because they do mention it. You want to challenge me again, Scar? And he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm the brains of the whole operation. You're the muscle. There's no way I'm going to challenge you. I already got my butt whooped, you know. And maybe that would be cool how the second movie would start, where they would show them a little bit younger, Scar growing some cojones and be like, yeah, I'm challenging you. I want to be the king. And they see it go down. They see him how he gets his scar. They show you maybe a clips where they, you know, get exiled, you know, where he leaves. And then he makes this big ultimate plan that, you know, when it's all ready, all said and done, he'll go back for his wife, you know, that's carrying his kids. And then, but then, you know, he comes back to the Pride Lands. Oh, I'm so sorry, brother. Let me make it up to you. And also Mufasa, he's a good king. He probably welcomes him with open arms. They are brothers, you know, after all. And then that's how
Probably
this
thinking
whole
that
came,
Scar
you know.
had changed.
Exactly. So this is how it all, you know, came down. And in the first movie, obviously, Scar gets what he wants. He ends up trying to get enough food, probably to go later on to, you know, get his wife. And then it all falls down because Kiara's born. At the end of this movie, you see her. You see her. So that means Kovu is born. You know, I mean, I'm hoping for the best. I just want you to take the time. You know, I'm thanking you for the time that you're giving me and us to, you know, writing with this magical video of like reviewing the Lion King movie. Hopefully, I did not like ruin it for anyone. I'm hoping that you
At
actually
least
took the
not
time.
too much.
Exactly, but I mean, everyone knows the like big point and the big outcome of this movie. There was a little bit of like new things, but I
But it
mean,
wasn't enough
yes,
to
but
change the
definitely,
movie.
exactly. But this movie by far is
A must see.
in theaters. Definitely, like, I mean, geez, I mean, just everything. Like, just go all out. You know, it's such a good
Just
picture.
even
You know,
from the opening cutscene,
Oh.
you'll fall in love. Just
oh, dude, like just
the
from
quality.
the point from point A to point B, from beginning to end, it was no doubt one of the best remakes / live action Disney out of all the ones that they made so far. This is the best one, and number 2 is coming. Hopefully, we're praying. Big fans, you know. So
Well,
I just
that
want to
is-
thank everyone for this time. To you know, hopefully you know didn't get ruined. If you did not see this video, the movie, like, don't watch this video obviously because we'll spoil the hell out of it, but just save it for later. Hopefully you guys can please just leave a like. I need my subscribers, you know, positive people that are willing to take the time of day to, you know,
Positive comments as
yeah,
well.
leave a positive comment and just subscribe, hit the like, positive comment. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought about the movie, and let me know exactly what was your favorite part or what you were what you didn't like. You know, let's just get to it. See you later.
See you.